the package. And I also need to shave. Ugh. Anyways, but that's not important. This is what's important right here. So I'm gonna look into this. So this is an Indiegogo, I'm pretty sure. Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I think it was Kickstarter. Despite the very political nature of this game, I'm pretty sure this was a Kickstarter. Anyways, so let's start opening this and I'll talk a little bit. Anyways, when I had purchased this, it was a crowdfunding thing, as mentioned before with the Kickstarter thing, in case you aren't aware what that is. And I was a little weary of it. I was kind of skeptical of it. And looking at it, the thing, a lot of other people were too. Just to the way, although I think ultimately a lot of the suspicion and whatnot came from the way the page was and things like that. But I think ultimately it's just because this is the first guy's foray into not only doing crowdfunding, but it looks like into games in general. Yes, this is a board game, but this does not feel like someone that has been into the hobby for 30 years, who've never stopped playing board games, after they reached 13. This feels like someone who grew up playing like Monopoly and Clue and the classic mass-produced board games that you find at Walmart. And then hadn't really played any games for 40 years, and then somehow they ran across Cards Against Humanity, the first game that they've played that didn't require rolling and moving for the entirety of the game, or any part of the game for that matter. So this is essentially a classic roll and move board game with some elements of Cards Against Humanity. So with a very, very right leaning political bent. This is a satirical game. This is Deterioration the Game. Because some of the things, like for me, that was making me kind of question how valid this was the initial time frame that they figured they were going to get the game out. Because they were going to make it like, because I had done some kickstarting for games and other, crowdfunding things from last year. And I am not getting them until now, this month. So it's been, over a year for some of these things, just about. So finally getting them. But they were figuring, let's see, did this in July, I believe. And they were figuring they would get it out by November. And this is a game that is made in the United States of America. So that's going to make it even more difficult. Because, with all the shortages, that were happening worldwide, I'm trying to, so outsourcing some things might make more sense, but when you're trying to, keep it in the United States, I imagine it was going to take a lot longer than to get by the end of the year, and sure enough, it did, and they had to do several updates during it. Like, okay, we're not going to be getting this nearly as quickly as we thought we were. I ordered a vinyl at around the same time period, and I'm not getting it yet. It's probably going to be a little while yet, maybe a couple weeks, because it is coming from the United Kingdom. So, anyways, here it is, Deterioration the Game, where the last person on the board wins. Because essentially, you do not want to get to the end of this game, because by the time Here we go. Here's your board game. You start at the top, and you roll, and you move to the bottom. But the biggest twist here is that it's not about who gets there first, about who gets there last, because this is essentially the world we live in now. And this came out, when there was hope that. Wait. No. I'm trying to think. No, I think Biden would have been in office when this thing was out. So it's just, it starts out how things were, 30 years ago, and then we're going to get to today, where everything's in chaos. Everything's terrible. Mass hysteria. Anyways, so yeah, 3 to 6 players, ages 18 plus. So, and here is the dreaded die that no modern game has the audacity. Well, okay, yeah, dice are fine in games, but rolling and moving in a game that comes out within the last 10 years, not going to go over well with a lot of gamers. This is definitely seems to be more for, I don't know. Obviously, it's for people who want to own the libs. That's clearly the main demographic. But after that, I'm not sure how much thought was going into it. So this is the Chaos card. Let's look at some of these components. The direction's only one sheet because, well, it's a roll and move. There's just not much to it. It's not like these other things, like Sonora or something, or there's my Paint the Roses, which I already did an unboxing of. Okay, Chaos and Jackass cards. Okay, if your opponent lands on a Chaos base, draw a Chaos card from the deck and follow the instructions. So, alright, let's get an idea what some of these Chaos cards are. And depending on if you land on a Jackass or Chaos card, it will kind of determine if you go forward, or you can even move backwards or stay or on a space or something like that. But they dictate how quickly you would advance to complete an utter dystopia. So here's the bottom card. You're showing your kids your old childhood albums and find a photo of you and your family at the circus. You also have to explain what a circus is while breaking the news that they will never get to see one. Thanks, PETA. Advanced 2 spaces. All right. A conservative joins the Supreme Court, helping to delay the inevitable deterioration of the country. Take a sigh of temporary relief and skip your next turn. Okay, so this is... You never know what you're going to be getting with Chaos cards. An intruder breaks into your home, but the new law says you have a duty to retreat. Make the intruder a sandwich and a warm bath before you flee your own property. Then run like the wind and advance 2 spaces. Let's do one more. Let's see if there's go back. Advance. There's got to be something about going back 3. Unless it's either... Okay, looks like Chaos. It's all about going forward. So, even if you roll a 5, you can still move like 8 spaces. Or I think the highest I've seen was move an additional 3. So it'd be 7 spaces you can move up in a turn. Then Jackass cards. If your opponent lands on a Jackass space, draw a Jackass question card from the deck and read it aloud to the other players. Each of the other places chooses an answer. So this is where the Cards Against Humanity comes in. This is so This is probably the first game that this person had played since he was, 12. So he took those memories, these newfound gaming memories, combined them with the old ones from the past to get this thing. I'm sounding very critical of this, but I am enjoying this more than I may sound. Believe me. All right. So, question. Universal guaranteed income for illegal aliens. And then oh, okay. That was an answer card. I can see there's two little decks, so the question is very, very small, disturbingly small. Good thing I have this, because this would be pathetic. All right. So, question 1. Your local school board adds this to the curriculum. All right, let's see. Oh, I want it from an answer. All right. Second from the top. I'll do 4. Actually, what's this is for? Where's the bottom of the box? Where did I put it? Oh, it was here the whole time. I thought I put it. I'm an idiot. All right. Yeah, 3 to 6. So, all right. 5, 6. Okay, all right. So your local school boards add this to the curriculum. Here are what each person chose. Shooting an intruder who breaks into your house. That'll never happen. Legal reverse racism. Well, we know this is going on now. Shutting down coal plants and halting completion of gas and oil pump pipelines. I suppose that could be a interesting field trip. Safe spaces on college campuses. Well, yeah, we're talking about on college campuses, so it sounds like that's kind of already in the curriculum now, isn't it? So that sounds a bit redundant. White fragility. Yep. I got that going on now. And abortion on demand. It sounds like a service, not a curriculum exactly. Unless you're teaching the students how to do it, just got like a bunch of 9-year-olds, and they're all in their scrubs and everything, and their rubber gloves, getting ready to shove up the vacuum or whatever they're going to be doing, however methods is going to be going on. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, well, that's the base game. Not much to it, for sure, but one of the coolest things about it is that this is made in the United States, so I like that. Because all the other games I've been getting, all have that big, huge made in China on it. It's like, I think that may even be the case with, what is that game? Why can't I remember it? So the same people are doing the Poland occupied zone. It's the card game. Take that game. Whatever. It's not important. So here's the expansion pack. It's just the cards, so you don't get, an additional token, to make the game, to be up to 7 players or 8, like a lot of games expansions will do, or you get more chaos and more of the jackass. Let's see what a question. We'll pick a random question from this one. Fauci's latest flip-flop was regarding what? Okay, let's just take 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, all right. Fauci's latest flip-flop. The left's carefully nurtured pandemic anxiety. The loss of dignity of girls' sports. Questioning whatever happened to Beto York. An increasingly politically charged woke sports environment. The fear-mongering corporate media. The growing record number of illegal unaccompanied minors. Well, the closest to being true is the left's carefully nurtured pandemic anxiety. But what would be the Did I read a growing record number of illegal unaccompanied minors? Why not? Let's say questioning whatever happened to Beto York. Why not? This might be one of those games of a card against humanity type games where a lot of the answers don't really go well. Because I've played some things like that where it's not about making the funniest one as much as it is about making the least stupid one. Being the least lame. So, like the game of meme. Not what do you meme, the game of meme. Which is the exact same game, except I got a small version of a what do you meme from the Dollar Tree. Back when things used to be $1 there. Times change. Times change. Well, anyways, I think that's about it for this one. Not much else for me to say, considering there's not much to this game here. But I won't complain. So this is Deterioration the Game. My most recent attempt, or not an attempt, but just a little bit there to help own it to, well, not necessarily liberals, the leftists. I'll put the liberals in their own category, because liberals and leftists, they are different. I don't like the leftists. I cannot talk today. So, before I talk anymore, I think I will say that's about it for this one. So, see you in the next one. Take care, and God bless. And I am going to take this stuff off, because it's making me a little queasy to my stomach.